Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back. Yesterday, we talked about recognizing when someone is struggling, especially like during this time of year. People sometimes just have a lot of things in their mind and have a lot going on. And so we want to be able to recognize when people are struggling, which is what we talked about yesterday. Today, we're going to talk about how you can show up for them through conversation. Because sometimes, even if people don't want to talk right away, we can still find a way to be there for them and to create a safe space. So we're going to talk a little bit today about what that looks like. So we know that sometimes opening up about what's bothering us is not always easy. Sometimes people don't want to do it. They feel like, oh, well, I don't want to bother other people with my problems. I don't want to put all my stuff on somebody else. Sometimes in the past, they may have tried to talk to somebody and they felt like they were dismissed or they weren't really heard. And so that could kind of jade them against opening up and talking to people again. And so I want to share a personal story about a time where someone created a safe space for me. And it was really after my mom passed. I think when somebody really close to somebody that you love passes away, you feel like, I don't know what to say. And I could tell that a lot of people that I was really, really close to were just simply uncomfortable. And one of my friends was like, girl, I don't know what to say. And I'm like, it's really nothing that you can say. Nothing anybody could have said in that moment when my mom passed would have genuinely made me feel better. Like there was nothing anybody could say. And so one of my very best friends from high school, she just really, really leaned into me during that time. She called me pretty much probably every single day just to check on me to see how I was doing. And she even took me to Vegas for my birthday. And even though I was really sad in Vegas, I still had some fun moments and memories with her. And when I got to Vegas and came to the hotel, she had created this book with all these beautiful pictures of my mom in it. And on the front, it had like my childhood home where I grew up. And that was just really special to me. And so that created a safe space for me. She didn't really have to say anything or try to fix me in that moment. The only thing she had to do was really just try to be there for me. So let's break it down what a safe space really looks like. So we want to be a non-judgmental listener. That means that we don't want to make that person feel like we're trying to fix them. We just want to really be there so they can feel heard. We want to choose empathy over sympathy. Empathy connects people, and sympathy sometimes can make people feel disconnected. Instead of saying like, oh, that's so awful, you can say that sounds really hard. I can see why you would feel that way, and just trying to be more empathetic. Another thing is on uninterrupted attention. Putting the phone away, turning off the TV. You don't want to be sitting there texting while you're telling your friend you're really interested in what they have to say. But at the same time, you're texting or you're distracted by TV or something else that's going on and you don't really seem present. So we want to make sure that we have full focus and we're giving that person our undivided attention. We want to be able to validate the feelings that they have. Avoid phrases like, don't feel that way. It could be worse. Instead, validate them and say, it's okay that you feel that way, and let them know that you understand. And also, we want to offer up time and patience. Conversations don't always happen like when we want them to. So we can't just make a person talk to us, but the more that we're present with them, even in silence, we can let that person know that, oh, I can trust this person, and they can just feel more comfortable sharing with you when things are really bothering them. So now that we've created a safe space, here are going to be a few ideas of what that actually looks like. So we want to open up that door gently to that person. We want to say, hey, I noticed that you haven't seemed like yourself lately. I just want you to know I'm here for you if you want to talk. So we don't want to rush in, like, tell me what's going on and make that person feel like we're rushing them into talking to us. But we just want to gently open it and say, hey, I'm here for you if you want to talk. We can use specific observations instead of saying things like, what's wrong with you? We can try things like, I've noticed you've been a bit quieter than usual lately, and I wanted to check in and see how you're doing. And again, I want to reiterate being okay with the silence. even in any relationship at any time, even beyond when we know somebody that's struggling, we want to be okay with being silent with people. We don't always have to feel like we have to fill those quiet spaces with conversation. It's okay to just sometimes just be silent with the people that we really love and we're close to. Avoid loaded questions. Stay away from, why are you acting like this? What's your problem? These can feel accusatory and they can definitely shut a conversation down. And not only could it shut that conversation down, it could shut future conversations down. Sometimes we may need to check our own energy. We want to make sure that we're coming into the conversation calm, supportive, not out of frustration or impatience. We also want to check our energy because we may have things going on and the thing that they're saying could be triggering us, and we don't want to start making that moment about us. We want to stay present with that person. We want to be supportive of that person. So one of the ways that we can do that is to just simply be there for them. I cannot stress that enough, just the importance of just being there for them. And so how do we stay open even if it's hard? Because truthfully, sometimes people don't want to talk, even if it's people we're really close to. And sometimes that can feel uncomfortable. Sometimes it can feel personal. Sometimes it can feel like, oh, well, maybe we're not as close as I thought we were, but we don't want to make these moments about ourselves. We really just want to be present and be there for that person. So we want to focus on being a mirror. We don't want to be a fixer. We don't want to try to come in and be the person that fixes their problems, or every time they say something, we have the solution. We don't want to do that. You want to be a mirror. So when they say something, you just want to be able to simply reflect back to them what they're saying. I understand you're saying this, so you can make sure that you really understand, and so they can feel heard, and so that can open up the door for more conversation. If you go into it trying to fix it, that might make the person feel like shutting down, and they may say just forget it. Or if you go in trying to fix it, sometimes it makes them feel like you're not really hearing them. You want to accept their boundaries. If they don't want to talk, that's okay. You've let them know that you're there for them. You've let them know through your actions and your show of concern that you're genuinely interested in them. You've planted seeds for them to come back later when they want to talk about it, and that's all that matters. And sometimes when people are going through things, and I'll use the example about my mom's death again. So the people that are close to me, they knew my mom. And so in those moments when we're creating a safe space for somebody else, we also want to be able to take care of ourselves, because we also could be experiencing something, or we could be triggered by something that they're talking about. And we just want to make sure that whatever they have going on isn't starting to be emotionally taxing on us. So we want to be there for them, but we also want to make sure that we're doing our self-care, that we have other outlets, and that we also have boundaries. Like sometimes it's okay to not dive in if your day is not going great. And so I want to leave you with this about creating a safe space. Creating a safe space isn't about having the perfect words. It's about showing up with love, patience, and an open heart. So if you can think about somebody in your life who might need a safe space during this holiday season, how can you show them that you're there for them? Maybe you can send that person a text. That's something we talked about on the first day when we talked about giving people your time. Like, time is our most valuable asset, and that's something that we should be giving other people during this holiday season. It's so important to give people our time and our attention. And so maybe you can send them a text. That's one way we can give them our time and attention. Or you can sit beside them quietly. You can bring them a coffee. Or you can say, hey, let's go to the coffee spot or our favorite dessert spot. Or, if the weather is nice and it's been cold and now the sunshine is like, hey, you want to go for a walk? Getting outside and walking for 30 minutes, they say, relieves a lot of stress and anxiety. So all those things are good. And during those times when you are spending time with people, you always want to, ask them how they're doing, and if they're like, I'm fine, you don't have to take that I'm fine. It's like, no, really, how are you doing? And let them know, like, if you don't want to talk about it, it's okay. I'm here for you. You just want to reiterate that. So tomorrow, I will be back again at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we're going to talk about stress tomorrow, holiday stress. not just in others, but in ourselves, because as much as we want to care for those around us, we also need to prioritize our own mental health. And sometimes the holidays can be very stressful for a lot of reasons. So I just want to thank you again for being here, for continuing to show up and in the lives of other people. And I hope that we're also learning some things during these holiday mental health lives that are helping us to be able to show up for ourselves in better ways too. Talk soon. Thank you.